So, you've spent weeks, maybe even months building something new, an app, a website, a product, you name it. It looks fantastic, it feels right to you, but how do you really know if it works for other people? Well, today we're diving right into that, how to figure out if your design is actually any good. Let's start with the one question every single creator asks themselves. You're looking at your work and you think, yeah, this is good. But is it really? How do we get past our own gut feelings and find some actual concrete evidence? Okay, before we go any further, we have to get one thing straight. This quote right here, it's the golden rule. It is the absolute foundation for everything we're about to talk about. The goal is never to judge the person using your design, it's to learn from them. All the pressure is on the design to perform, not the user. And this is just a brilliant way to think about it. You know, a chef doesn't get mad at a customer for not liking a soup that has no salt. They taste it first, they find the problems, and they fix them. That is exactly what we're doing here. So how do we taste the soup? Well, there are two main ways to go about it. First up, we have the expert's path. This method is called a heuristic evaluation, and it's our first big tool for putting a design under the microscope. So what on earth is it? Think of it like a building inspector coming to check out your house. They've got a clipboard with a checklist of all the codes it needs to meet. In this case, a few usability experts take your design and check it against a well-known list of design principles. We call them heuristics. But notice who isn't in the room: real users. This is purely an internal expert review. Okay, so why do this? Well, for one, it's super fast and pretty cost-effective. It's the perfect first pass to catch all those glaring, obvious problems. You know, the design equivalent of a giant typo on your homepage. And this is so important, remember that last point. This is meant to complement testing with real users, not replace it. To make this a bit more real, let's look at a few examples from probably the most famous checklist out there, Jakob Nielsen's 10 usability heuristics. This will give you a feel for what those experts are actually looking for. So first principle, match the system to the real world. Why is a trash can icon so universally understood? Because we all know what a trash can does in real life. The design isn't making you learn some new abstract idea. It's speaking a language you already know. Next up, helping users when things go wrong. I mean, look at that bad example. It isn't just unhelpful, it's kind of intimidating, right? Error hashtag 404 means absolutely nothing to most people. But the good one? It does three things perfectly. It explains the problem in plain English, it's friendly, and most important of all, it gives you a way out. It shows you a path forward. And one more, user control and freedom. This is all about giving people an emergency exit. Come on, we've all done it. Accidentally deleted an important email. A system that makes that mistake permanent is just stressful. But that little undo button that pops up for a few seconds, that's a safety net. It lowers your anxiety and tells you, hey, it's okay to make mistakes here. You're in control. So that's the expert's point of view. But what happens when the design actually leaves the workshop and meets a real live person? Let's move on to our second path, usability testing. This, my friends, is the moment of truth. Usability testing is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You find people who are just like the folks you expect to use your product. You give them your design, and you simply watch them try to get things done with it. You're not guessing anymore. You are observing actual, real-world behavior. Now, this process might sound kind of formal, but it really just boils down to these 4 steps. You plan what you want to learn, you find the right people to test with, you run the sessions, and then you figure out what it all means. But how many people do you actually need to find? The answer is probably not what you think. You don't need dozens, you don't need hundreds. To get some seriously powerful insights, you just need about this many people. Because it turns out, and this is one of the most amazing findings in this field, that just 5 to 7 users will uncover around 85% of the most common usability problems. You don't need a massive budget to get massive insights. So during these sessions, the absolute key technique is something called the Think Aloud protocol. You just ask the person to say whatever is going through their head as they use the design. Okay, I'm looking for a way to sign up. I'd expect that to be in the top corner. Where is it? See, this isn't just about seeing what they do, it's about understanding why they do it. It unlocks their entire thought process. All right, so we've looked at the expert review and we've looked at the real user test. This naturally brings us to the big question that's probably on your mind right now. Which one of these is better? Which one should you pick? Let's just break it down. This table makes the difference so clear. A heuristic evaluation uses experts to ask a simple question. Does this design follow the established rules? The result is an expert opinion. Usability testing, on the other hand, uses real people to ask a totally different question. Does this actually work for the people I built it for? The result is pure, unfiltered behavioral insight. See? They're not even answering the same question.
So if they're answering different questions, what's the best way to move forward? What's the actual game plan here?
Well, the answer is refreshingly simple. This isn't an either-or situation. These two methods aren't rivals fighting for the top spot. They're partners. And this right here is the ideal workflow. You start with a quick, cheap heuristic evaluation, let the experts find all that low-hanging fruit, all the basic design principles you might have missed. Then, once you've cleaned all that up, you take that much improved design and put it in front of real users. That way, your valuable user testing sessions aren't wasted on obvious stuff. They can uncover those deeper, more surprising problems you would have never found on your own.
So as we wrap things up, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. Take a look at whatever you're working on right now and ask yourself, what would an expert say about it? And maybe more importantly, what would a real user do with it? Could your design pass these tests?